Hello, everybody. We're reacting to, what's the film we're reacting to again?
PATHAAN.
That's right, the Hindi language Indian film PATHAAN. Here's the log line. An Indian spy takes on a group of mercenaries who have nefarious plans. Nefarious, Jim.
Several.
Yes, they do, don't they? Nefarious plans to target his homeland. It directed by Siddharth Anand, stars Shah Rukh Khan, Deepika Madukone, and apologies for any mispronunciations here, John Abraham, and Dimple Kapadia. I think the best way to describe it would be like a mashup of James Bond. James Bond meets Mission Impossible if Michael Bay or James Cameron did it.
Yeah, no, I would agree. I think the whole movie was in slow motion. I mean, this is how it's playing back in my memory, but that's a very good assessment.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. Give me your spoiler-free take on it.
Really quite a bombastic, over-the-top, almost a fantasy, kind of almost a superhero movie without them actually being superheroes. One guy after the other who's actually after the entire country, and let's see if we can stop him in time. So, yeah, it was. I felt it was verging on superheroism. I don't know about you, but
yeah, no, I think I'd mentioned this to you in the theater. It is every excess of superhero movies, DCEU, and the MCU, and so many Bond films, so many Bond excesses. The things that are made fun of now was in this movie. Myself, I found it. I think the best comparison I can make is to Bahubali or RRR, and it does not do well in that comparison. No. It's as over the top as the other two, but none of the joie de vivre or just the storytelling. I don't think this is a well-made movie. It's almost a cynical movie. Like, here, we'll give you, okay, you like salt? Okay, here's a bunch of salt. Yeah. You like loud music? You like offensive stereotypes about men and women and hypermasculinity? We'll give that to you in spades.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite part, I think, is when they went from one scene where one character was torturing another, and then he goes to another prison and stops another character from being tortured. It's just like, where do you guys land on this? There's a lot of sort of doubling down on, what's any given person's worth to a country, and the cynic character says not much. We're just coffins to them, basically, and they double down on that in the movie. So in terms of being cynical, it's really it's got a. It's not quite as. It made me appreciate RRR a lot more, now.
Yeah. I mean, I would put them both in the same, let's say, the same right-wing boat, but at least RRR says, "Well, we'd like to entertain you as we as we peddle what I would call a right-wing kind of worldview."
Yeah.
Here
like the Marvel
MCU, right? Yeah, the same kind of thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, Jim. I know and maybe this is something, hey, comment down below if you think we should maybe discuss this further. It did, I think, almost accidentally raise a couple issues, and I think that goes to what you're saying about doubling down and where do they fall, but a couple of the themes seem to be, literally, what more do you owe your country?
Yeah.
And this idea of the value of innocence, and which innocents are valued?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite part is at the very end where one character quotes JFK pretty much.
Yeah.
You know, what do not ask what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. And I'm not kidding. It was pretty close to JFK
Yeah.
without the Chowda accent,
Yeah.
you know. So, but yeah, I mean, sort of accidentally, yeah. What is the role of the soldier? What is the role of the citizen? What's the role of the country? How does that reflect back on the people? That kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, there's some. If another filmmaker had approached this, there's a different movie in this, and one that, you know, doesn't entirely rely on slow motion, but there's a something there anyway.
And bombastic action.
Yeah.
Objectification.
Yeah.
What music? Like, for myself, I was just like, holy crap, is this loud? Like,
Yeah.
but what was your take on the soundtrack?
I thought it was really not very subtle. Like, and it there was one point, one character gets shot, and you're supposed to be shocked by it, but the music cue was so heavy, and so like it just basically turned on a dime, and almost you heard a record scratch, and then sad music came in, and I kind of laughed at not because I was happy the character got shot, but just the music cue was so awkward. Having said that, when the tiger character sort of comes in at one point, you know, he's got his own sort of music, you know, that's kind of cool. So it does work in some areas, but way too heavy, like way too much of a heavy hand on not just volume, but just like
It could have
constant.
been-
Yeah.
It could have been at a lower level, and it still would have been
Just they relied on it
maxed
too
out.
much. Yeah. Yeah. It tells you how to feel when I can handle that myself. You know, I'm good.
or in a better storyteller's hands, your feelings are objectively they organically arise because of what we're seeing on the screen,
Yeah.
not how our buttons are being pressed. Well, I guess that leads me to the real question, Jim. PATHAAN, see it or skip it?
I'd say you can probably skip this one. I mean, it's fun, but yeah, I would say you can skip it. How about you?
Skip it, absolutely. And while there are a couple of chuckles, I didn't actually enjoy myself in this film. There was no time I felt properly moved, really engaged. Again, at best, like anytime I laughed out loud, I was laughing at it, not with it.
Yeah.
There is one caveat you even brought up. There are cultural references, and especially Indian pop culture and Hindi cinema references, like the tiger character, where you're like, yeah, all the Indian diaspora folks that were around us watching this movie they're getting a cue that Jim and I, as a couple of North American white guys, aren't. Does that make
Yeah.
anything
Oh,
you
absolutely.
wanna-
Yeah. Yeah, there's a whole extended scene sort of after the credits where they're, I think, talking about other actors and you know, how about this guy? How about that? Who's going to replace us? We're getting old.
Yeah.
Ha ha ha. I mean, that was kind of charming, I thought. But yeah, I didn't fully get it, but I kind of knew something was going on. So
And yeah, you're right. It did have some charm. So there's a couple of redeemables. I'm still sticking with skip it.
yeah,
All right.
go watch RRR again. That's a better investment.
Well, at the same time, understanding they're all celebrations of toxic masculinity. All right, guys. Say goodnight, Jim.
Good night, Jim.
Okay, goodbye, everybody.